Now after you finish rolling out the calf and really getting that mess nice and pliable and improving the fascia, the next thing to do is to help improve dorsiflexion by using a banded calf stretch. And I found that this has been one of the most effective things in my ankle mobility because I have terrible ankle mobility. So what I do is I get a band, which is right here. And what I do is I use this as sort of a way to distract the bottom of the talus and keep it back. There are multiple ways to do this, but this is the way I prefer. Okay, so what I have here is just a step or a stool elevated surface. I have a band, a thin band. I prefer a little bit thicker band because a thicker band will be a little bit more comfortable. You see these two notches here on of the bones. Get this to come down, and then you're going to roll forward like this. Now you see how my heel's coming off? Ideally what you're going to want to do is you want to have the same position. Remember, you want to kind of mobilize in the position of restriction. This is the stuff that I learned from Kelly Starrett, is essentially trying to create the shape you're trying to make. So in this case, I can go forward and stretch my calf more, but the problem is you see how my arch is collapsing, and we don't want that. What we want to do is we're going to focus on creating the shape that we're trying to make our body stronger and want to go in that direction, because we already know that I can get better knee forward, better dorsiflexion this way, but this gaps up and opens up the front of the knee, going to cause some injury over time. So what you're going to want to do is focus on pushing forward and going out. Now you kind of see how this heel, this calf is so stiff. So kind of one thing I like to do, that's why I like a thicker band, but not quite as thick as this one. I could use that one, but is to get a little bit more tension and go here, okay? So that way when I rock forward, my heel will stay down. And that way you get a little bit of calf stretch. One thing that has happened when I train clients with this is that they'll feel their quad activate because they have weak quads. And essentially, again, you see how my arch of my foot, I'm trying to keep this big toe and ball of the foot on the ground and rock my knee forward. About 2 minutes, 90 seconds to 2 minutes is pretty effective. On Brent Bush, his stuff is pretty good. I love his stuff also. He has a more kind of a lighter approach where what he likes to do is prefer to put the foot on the back leg and then have your hand up on here, and then what you're going to do is you're just going to rock forward. That way there's not as much weight on this leg. That way, essentially trying to get this talus, the bone underneath here, to sort of mobilize. Now, I do both, you know, I mean, I'll do this, like I'll focus on squeezing this back glute and rock forward, which is effective also. But then another way I do is I actually do put pressure on this leg and then rock forward as well. Some people, he says that, Brent Bush says that it will cause some jamming there and you won't get the desired effect. I do both. You know, I don't do this for more than I don't do this for an extended period of time. I just do this enough so that way I can get a little bit more encouragement of knee forward. Now the next thing that's also really important to this entire process, after you foam roll the calf, after you mobilize the calf, if you have ankle impingement. If you can't do this one, you don't have a band, you can easily do this. You can rock your knee forward, you can get a kettlebell or heavy plate, and you kind of rock forward. That way you can kind of sort of create that shape. You see what shape is this? This is a lunge, right? But it's also basically half a squat. What works also is you can just simply stretch your calf. You know, do like a downward dog thing, turn his foot in, make sure this toe is facing the inside of your midline. But that's basically what you want. You smash the calf, get the fascia to be more effective, then you stretch the calf so that there's a little bit more range. And the last and final thing is you want to strengthen it and activate the weak part of the ankle to help improve dorsiflexion. Because remember, knee goes forward, heel comes off. You got to have some muscles of the arch, which will take time to train, but also strengthening the shin, the front of the calf. All right.